You miss church. You're not getting spiritually fed. You're going to starve. Your soul is starving because he's not getting this nutrition from the pasture.
I'm getting more sleep and joy in life.
We look at you, Dan, and we see you're not passing out on the plates at dinner time. But spiritually, you are famished. You need to come back.
Instead of look at your checkbook, they're like, I can look at your waistline and tell where you.
So I'm just sitting there in the stall, starting to sob. I mean, just bawling my eyes out. And Larry leans over and says, "That's not anxiety, Dan. That's God trying to get your attention." And I'm like, "Larry, that's the Taco Bell I had for lunch." Well, hey, folks, welcome back to another episode of the Dan and Can Show. Huzzah! How are we doing? Can.
Good. I was waiting for somebody else to answer.
There ain't no one else here.
How are you doing?
You're stuck with me.
I'm talking to Arthur and DW behind you, okay?
Arthur and DW.
And Kramer.
So anyways, I don't know. I should have probably felt guilty about that little story, but I'm not. I'm going to leave it in because people need to know the dangers of Taco Bell.
I don't know. Guilt would be the word for that. Shame.
Shame. I have stories, folks, and they're probably going to come out here sometime.
No, I won't even let those stories out for your sake. I love myself too much to let those stories come out because I'm married to you.
Still, after that, people are going to inquire. Keep texting Candy.
Let's just say Dan
know.
went through a time where he had bowel issues, okay? That's all I'm going to say. All right?
And she stood with me through all.
I did.
Thick and
I'm
thin.
still here.
So, anything happening here recently you want to go over? No? Yes? No?
I mean, this stuff will come up. You're putting me on the spot.
You're putting me on the spot. Well, then, I tell you what. Let's play.
Are we going to introduce the podcast?
Yeah, I did. The Dan and Can Show.
Oh, that's how simple it is now?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm Dan.
And I'm Can.
And this is the Dan and Can Show.
All right.
It's a new format. We're still trying to break it in and get used to it. So, all right. Let's play a little something we'll try to do every week. A little something to get to know us a little bit. Because, you guys are sitting down listening to us for an hour long here. So maybe you want to get to know some of the behind the scenes, some of the stories, what we're all about. So I've got a question for Candy.
Okay.
And myself.
All right.
And I'll give you a minute to think and I'll answer
yours first. Okay.
Yeah. But what is something you got grounded for that you still think was totally worth it? See, and this is a tough one for me because I was such a good child that I didn't need to be punished or disciplined. I was so good. And you can ask my mom and dad and they'll verify that I just raised myself.
Are you done?
Is that not what they would say?
They would.
So I honestly can't remember very many times being grounded by any means. I can remember one, and I think it was kind of worth it. It was me and my buddy, the Kev dog. He was sleeping over at my house. And we locked my bedroom door.
How old were you?
This would have been 8th grade.
I'm scared. What's happening with the door locked?
Put a do not disturb sign on the outside. And I lived in the basement, so we climbed out the basement window in my room and went over to a young lady's house that we both had a crush on.
You're both there and just her, or was there other people there?
Just her in her house.
You both had a crush on her. Were you just competing to see who? I don't understand what's happening here.
Well, it's 8th grade boys.
I'm finding this disturbing.
Yeah. We just wanted to go hang out with a girl, so.
Okay. Were you
went
both
over
like
there.
flirting with her the whole time?
Yeah.
Like, yes.
So we were over there for an hour or so. Innocent little 8th grade fun, and nothing happened.
Wait, I do have a question. Did either of you get a date ever?
Kevin dated her for a while.
You didn't get a date?
I dated her in the 4th grade for a little bit.
4th grade? That's not dating, okay, buddy?
It was pretty serious. We were meeting the parents. My dad knew her dad from high school. So
4th grade.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So then we come home, and now my parents were pretty cheap and didn't put locks on the door, so I put a little hook lock on my own door to kind of keep it shut. And when I came in the window, I noticed, that's weird. The door's kind of open. What's the dog doing in my room? We didn't let him in my room. So me and Kev start climbing in the window, and also my mom kicks open the door. Busted! She goes, that damn dog was barking all night long. We couldn't figure out why. It's because you guys were gone. Nowhere. So yeah, I got grounded. I couldn't play Nintendo for a week.
Was she really mad, or did she kind of laugh? I could see her mom kind of laughing.
At the moment, she was mad because the dog woke her up in the middle of the night.
Oh, so she was tired.
Yeah.
Did your dad deal with it at all?
He grounded me the next day. He said, shouldn't be doing that. So you don't get to play Nintendo for a week.
Did you follow the rule?
Nintendo was in my room.
So you still played with it?
Yeah.
You didn't really get grounded then?
No, but that's about as close as it came. So, all right. In all that time, what's your story?
Well, to be honest, I cannot remember being grounded a whole lot.
Excuse me?
By the time I was a teenager, I knew how to play the game. When I was a little kid, I got a lot of spankings. Like when you get beat like that, grounding sounds like I would have loved to be grounded. I'll tell you that much. But instead, because our friends got grounded, and I would be like, I wish I would just get grounded. I would rather be grounded. But then there is one time I could think of. We were at my mom's place of work, and my dad had gone in to get my mom. My mom never drove, so my dad would come pick her up.
Okay, yeah.
And we were getting really bored because they were taking forever. So we would go into my mom's work all the time. And there was this glass door to the outside. Then there's this long hallway. And then you go way in, stairs. It's far in to get to her office. So we know that they're far away. So we get out of the car and we're screwing around. We're going in and out of the building. And then we're playing with each other, and me and my younger sister are holding the door from the inside, and my brother is trying to get in, and we won't let him in. So he kicks the door, and it cracks all the way. Like, it doesn't fall. There's just cracks everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. So the glass doesn't collapse one way or the other. It just is full of cracks. And then we get back in the car, and we just sit there. Like nothing happened. We were like, maybe they won't notice. From Tommy We're Boy, so scared.
When he backed the door off, he's like, what did you do? When he opens the door and it falls off. Dad opens the door and all the glass falls out.
I mean, we were my heart's starting to pound hard just remembering this. I remember just sitting there. We were so scared. Then eventually, it was probably like 15, 20, maybe minutes even. We're just sitting in the car. This is when you could just leave your kids in the car with the windows up.
Can't even do that with dogs now.
And we're sitting there and we're waiting. We see them come out and they are looking at the door. They're looking up and down, and they get in the car and they're like, did you guys do that? I don't remember if we lied first or if we told the truth right away. All I remember is I can't remember anything other than we were punished. What I remember getting was we were grounded for the summer. Did it hold out all summer? I don't remember, but I do remember having to be in bed when our friends were outside playing. We had to go to bed. That was it. We had to go to bed. We weren't like grounded inside all summer. We had to go to bed at 8:00 all summer. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So it was 8:00.
Couldn't see your parents keeping you guys in the house all summer long.
No, it was, we had to go to bed at 8 all summer.
So that's probably when they got home from work.
Yeah, probably. It was so terrible. I remember looking out because we had a bunk bed, and I'd pull the little shades and look outside, see people riding their bikes. And we were laying in bed. It was terrible. It's not like there was TVs or anything. You're just sitting in bed. Maybe you had a book. Probably weren't allowed to have that. Probably had to have the Bible.
Yeah, you guys are reading and copying the
Yeah.
Bible down.
Probably.
So-
That probably was true. So and so I don't appreciate you making it sound like I was a really bad teenager, because I was a pretty good teenager.
Oh, I know the
Unfortunately.
stories. I've heard your parents talk about you.
Yeah, they talk like I was not a bad kid. I was probably one of their easiest kids, I think. Maybe I'm partial.
Yeah.
I do feel like I was one. You don't think I was one of their easiest kids?
You're a good kid.
I mean, I didn't cause them a bunch of trouble.
You were a rule follower and a people pleaser.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah, you weren't going to step out of line too much.
I did have a mouth sometimes. That
Yeah.
is what got me in trouble more than anything.
And you would take the punishment for others too.
I did do. I was foolish in many ways.
Yes, foolish, definitely. So this is all to bring about kind of the topic that we're going to mix in today, and it's guilt. And the difference between the guilt we used to experience in the faith and kind of what we do with them, similar feelings now. That's not necessarily guilt and shame. I mean, it's probably a little guilt, but it's more self-conviction, something we use to...
I think now the difference is the shame's not attached to it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel... Because I'm living a lot more authentically, if I do something that hurts somebody and I feel guilt for that, I understand it. I don't feel shame like, oh, like, I understand maybe why I even did it, because it's usually due to old programming. Like, I'm scared of being judged by somebody, or, you know what I'm saying? Or I fall into old patterns for safety.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of shaming it, I stay curious. Like, oh, that's why I did that, which, I guess there's no judgment on it. I treat myself like I'm a kid learning. I'm still learning how to be human, right? I'm learning what it's like. So I guess that's the difference to me. Is before it was shame, like there's a God, like.
Yeah. And I think when you're in the religious systems, the guilt is there to keep you in line, keep you in check.
It keeps you from breaking the rules. It keeps you from
It keeps you under control.
Yes. It keeps you would understand it. Wait, why is your phone going off? Do you need to shut it off during this time?
No.
Please turn off all cell phones.
No, it's just...
Who is it? Is it work?
My family texted me back.
Well, you can turn it on silent.
I'm too old. I'm too old to figure that out. I don't feel guilty.
You don't know how to turn your phone on?
I don't feel guilty about it.
Do you not know how to turn your phone on silent?
I know how to turn it on silent.
Well, do it, mister.
Do it. Don't
Turn
be a jerk.
mine on too.
Reese is home.
Oh, my workout's starting. Sorry, excuse me.
So, yeah, Candy's the one now.
Yeah, after I got on you.
So, I think a lot of the guilt there was more of manipulation and control to keep you in line, keep you under their thumb. But I think the guilt that we now experience in life, that when after we've left the faith, is more of a corrective measure for ourselves. When we do something and we can see the hurt that it caused, the pain that it caused, that we can learn from that.
Like maybe we might feel, I don't know if it's shame. It might still be shame, but it's like, it's not shame without a purpose.
Shame. It's very similar to shame.
Yes, and but it has a purpose. It makes me feel like it's empathy is what it is. You're feeling what they may be feeling from what you did, and you feel sad about that. It makes you feel sad. You know, it's almost like what you did bounced off of them and it bounced right back to you. And it was you put it out into the world, some harmful way of being, and then it bounced back and you feel that harm ricocheting back. And so I think that's what it is. It's that same feeling, except for when it's shame in Christianity, I've heard that the difference between shame and guilt is I am bad, and guilt is I did something bad, and shame is I am bad.
Oh, that's a good point. Because in the faith, it's definitely
I am. Oh.
Okay, that's the neighbors.
Okay, you might need to edit that. That's annoying.
Well, it's just a beat to keep us going on the right pace. This is the new format, folks. Noise is all over the place.
God.
But I think that's a good point, is that Because it wants you to. The whole idea of the church was you're a bad person. You're not worthy of all this. God did this almighty thing for you to pull you out of it, even though you didn't deserve it, and you never could do anything to
You're
deserve
not
it.
worthy.
Yeah.
You're not lovable. You're not good. You're actually evil. When that is said to you, I guess you feel
that whatever you do that harms
that I
anyone,
am
that's just
bad.
your nature.
Yeah.
It's
and you're almost like, I am bad, and then like I deserve. I mean, I remember kind of feeling like I deserved bad things to happen.
Yeah.
And I still kind of probably have some of that programming.
Yeah. So, I think that's a key delineation in this is that in the faith, it was you are what's bad.
You are bad.
And outside of it, we realized I'm not bad. I'm not a bad guy. I just made a mistake.
It didn't.
But
you can do bad things.
Yeah, and that's
People
just human nature. We're
things.
going to do things out of emotional whatever, maybe we get all worked up and angry.
Well, when you believe you're bad,
anger.
You better believe you're going to do bad things. You are. I mean, all these Christians, it's no surprise that it's Christianity is the religion. I don't know about all the other religions, but I know that Christianity does teach you at the core that you are not good.
Yeah.
So you are sin. You have a sin nature. So your natural inclination is to be sinful, or they would interchange that with the word evil. So you are sinful at your core. There's no way you cannot be cruel to others.
Yeah.
Because you are cruel to yourself.
So, I think that's a good point. It's, about your nature. And I think we realized after the faith, our nature wasn't bad.
No.
We are actually decent people trying to live a decent life and treat everyone else well. Are we going to fall short? Yes. And that's where the guilt comes in, because that's not who we want to be.
It's not who we really are, even.
Yeah.
When you do something, it's out of, I think the reason it feels bad too, because it's really out of character for you. But in some way, it gives you an opportunity. If you stay curious rather than judgmental of yourself, then you'll go, why did I do that? And that's when you can actually make change. But when you're judging yourself, then you get in the shame spiral. You know what I'm saying? If you start saying like, I'm bad, or even if you say that was bad, you could do that, but you don't even need to say that. You can say, why did I do that?
Yeah. And it prevents you from actually loving.
Yes, it does.
Because you can't love yourself. And if you start seeing yourself as bad and understand that, and you have the understanding that I'm inherently bad, then everyone else is also. So they're bad too. And they're doing bad things. And that's going to cause you, how can I, when you think about it, how can I love someone that's just evil at their core? They just want to do evil.
How can you love? Yeah. And then the idea is, okay, so this is how I understood it. So I can't love you. I'm a Christian, let's say, and I'm evil at the core, or I have a sin nature, right? My nature is sinful. Nothing is good. Nothing, no, not one, enemy of God, those kind of thoughts, right? And then I'm supposed to love you. And people will say, well, you can't love until you have Jesus in your heart.
Yeah.
Then you have to do that by believing in him. And some people say a prayer, and some people say you have to be baptized too, but whatever. Yeah. So let's just say it's the simplest thing and you believe it. You believe that Jesus died on the cross for your sins. Now he lives inside you, or the Holy Spirit lives inside you. And now you can love them, but it's not really you loving them. It's the Holy Spirit loving them through you. Yeah, he's using you because you're not capable of doing it.
It's God doing it through you.
That's exactly. So you never really are able to love your neighbor. It's God loving your neighbor through you.
Okay. So we got this idea set up then that I think we both can kind of agree. It was in the church, it was you are the bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the guilt comes from, is you're doing it because you are bad. And I'm going to do bad things and I'm going to hurt people. And outside the church, I do bad things. I'm not a bad person, but I do bad things. Mm-hmm. So let's focus on the church and flash back a little bit. I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
And let you see what you answer here.
All right.
So what's something you only did because you felt guilty? Marry me.
I wanted to marry you. Believe it or not, I did.
Like, oh, that poor guy. There's no one else that's going to take him. I'll take a bullet. I take all the punishments for everybody else. I take the swats for my family.
He's the cross I have to bear.
I'm getting a lot of crowns to lay at the Lord's feet for this one.
That I can give right back to him. Okay, so what's one thing I did only because I felt guilty?
Mhm.
This is going to sound awful. I don't know if I want to say this because this will be out there then.
Oh, say it. Say it's juicy tidbit. I'm going to put it on TikTok too.
No, don't. Please don't.
Attach everybody on it.
Okay, my dad always liked us to kiss him on the cheek. He actually...
Not on the cheek. It was on the lips.
Okay, no, let's not just... Yeah.
No, let's be honest about it.
Okay, but I don't want to shame him in any way.
It's not a shameful thing. It's just what
I think it was culture for him or something. I don't know if they did it when he was growing up, but he did like that. But I only did that.
I think he thought it was the Christian thing to do.
Because there's a verse where like...
Yeah, betrayed with a kiss or I don't know.
No. I don't think that's the one he was thinking of. Like, let it greet each other with a holy kiss.
Yeah.
But I would be okay with the cheek. Actually, I really didn't like kissing at all. I did not like kissing my dad.
Yeah.
That's what I did, only because I had to. And I felt guilty. I felt like I was a bad daughter if I didn't do it. I wasn't planning on talking about that one. Thank you very much.
Well, that's what we're here for.
I mean, that's just honest. It's nothing against him. It's just he wasn't perverted about it or anything. It was something I did. I felt very uncomfortable with. It's kind of like hugging. We had to learn that with our kids. Don't force them to hug.
Yeah,
aunts and uncles.
We're
and
both
grandmas.
huggers.
Yeah. Well, you weren't really, or your family wasn't.
My family wasn't. I am though.
But were you?
Yeah.
So that's weird that they weren't, but you are.
My love language is physical touch.
I know you like physical touch. All right, move along.
I know you like it. That's why we had a desk and 2 computer screens in between us during the podcast. All right. So let's think of something here. Did you ever feel guilty leaving something toxic rather than staying in it?
Are these ChatGPT questions?
Oh, yeah.
They're kind of... well, this one is. The first one was all right. Did I ever feel guilt? Obviously, I felt guilty. I didn't feel... When you're leaving Christianity, the way I left, the way we left, I didn't feel any guilt about it because I definitely thought we were on the right path.
Yeah.
But I did feel... There was times I felt like, I did ask myself many times, am I doing the right thing? But it wasn't, it was so obvious that it was.
Let me ask you this. Is there, and you don't have to get specific on this, relationships that you've had that you've known are toxic, but you stayed in them because of guilt or shame? Yeah.
Yes, I
think a lot of people can associate with that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be friends, family, whatever.
I still have some relationships that I'm not sure how to, I don't necessarily think cutting people out forever is a good idea. I think it has its place. I think there's a place to like there's a time for estrangement. There's a time for that.
Yeah.
There's a space for it, but I don't think it should be permanently forever. People change. No. I think you should check in once in a while and see if there's been growth.
Yeah. And I think that's a key there too, because a lot of times relationships just kind of peter off. Mm-hmm. Just because you guys went different life paths and things are different.
That's normal.
And you don't stay in contact. And then maybe paths cross again 10 years down the road, and then that person gets reintroduced into your life and becomes something there. So with that in mind, the same thing can happen with toxic relationships because people can do self-work and,
and if they have no way of connecting with you,
you never know.
You would never know. And maybe you're not supposed to know. I don't know. But I mean, to me, but I don't know. Sometimes the people that I'm not saying like you should be up close with that. You have to have strong, strong boundaries, and you have to have done a lot of healing on yourself before you can have a relationship with them. If you haven't done, if you don't feel ready, don't do it.
Ever. Yeah. And that's part of the boundaries you set up and everything else. Because if you're leaving, and if it was a toxic relationship, you have to do work also.
Yes.
Work on healing yourself and getting yourself right. and getting yourself strong enough
Yeah.
to be able to deal with
And
it.
I think you'll know if
Yeah.
you want to approach that person again. And that's the thing, like both people, sometimes I think people are also doing no contact. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
No contact. And they're going to no contact and just blaming the other side and saying you're the whole problem and not really doing any shadow work on their end because they've got programs and they've got stuff they need to heal from themselves. It's not that people need to go and you know, everybody I think is just everybody's like sick kind of in a way.
Yeah.
We all need to heal. It's not that we need to be better versions of ourselves. We need to be healthier versions. Like we have the sick versions because we've got so many terrible programs that things are being pushed at us all the time. They're just garbage, So I think.
So, you got to do the work and leave the door still able to be opened. You can close the door.
If you're
for
ready,
now.
Though, you have to be ready, and you don't want to be forced into that either. That's a whole.
Close the door, but maybe not lock it.
Maybe don't. Yeah, maybe don't seal it shut.
Yeah, don't brick it up.
Yeah. Just you can lock it. Maybe you never open it again, but don't seal it shut forever and make it so that burn everything down. Just separate.
Yeah.
And that might be a whole life and it might not, but that's up to you and the other person.
So one final one here before we continue on. What is one of the most manipulative guilt you ever felt in church? And I got one that you'll know right away. It's when in our last church they'd get up and something would be going on. Maybe they needed to raise money for something, or there was a ministry suffering or something like that. And the pastor would get up and say, why don't you guys form small groups in your sections, 2 or 3 families together.
That was brutal.
And just lift up this
person in prayer.
This problem in prayer. And then as the man, of course, I was the one that was supposed to pray.
Yeah, because you'd be with us, maybe some of our kids. Some might have been in Sunday school. The pastor's wife usually sat behind. In that church, she sat in the back, and we sat in the back.
Yeah.
And her granddaughter.
And her daughters.
It was all women. And so I was like, in my head, oh, crap, he's going to have to pray.
So here comes me.
I was carrying the nerves with you.
I was like, oh, Father God, we love you today. Please help us out with this thing I know nothing about. Let's go. What am I supposed to say? How long am I supposed to go?
And it's like super quiet and you can hear other people are praying, but yet your group can only hear you pretty much. Yeah. And it's like, so you've got to talk.
So everyone's heads down as they're praying. And I'd kind of peek up and see if people are still talking as I'm going to see if I need to wrap this up. Or it was kind of like when in grade school when we'd go to confession and the priest would be like, all right, go out and say some prayers and be sorry about what you did. And we'd have to go out and kneel in the back pews, and I'd just be like, how long do we sit here? Just wait for someone else to get up. All right. So once the first person got up, like 10 kids would get up and walk back to the section at once. No one wanted to be the first. So how about you?
Okay, say the question again.
What is one thing that you felt manipulated by guilt to do in church?
Well, I'll say 2 things real quick. Okay. The first one was in my grandma's church, in Catholic church, I didn't know all the people because I just would go there with my grandma, and they do the peace be with you and everybody turn around and you knew exactly what to say. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. So I didn't mind that one because I was just like, okay, peace be with you. I knew what to do exactly. Right. What I didn't like is an evangelical, non-denominational specifically, where you'd be like, find somebody across the hall, greet them. I was like, what the? Because I don't like that shallow, superficial talk, that small talk really very much. And I was just like, I dreaded that. I couldn't wait till it was over. And hopefully I was sitting by somebody I knew so I could have a conversation with them. But
we would never leave our spot.
No, that was brutal. I just thought that was so stupid.
Every now and then someone would come over from across the sanctuary. Hey, I'm Jim Bob. How you doing? I'm like, great. How are you?
We're trying to just blend in and get out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, wonderful day out. Yeah. What do you do?
Then The other one I was going to say is when I was in a charismatic church, because I was a charismatic for a while when I was younger, and they were praying. I went up to the altar for something. I was a teenager, and the pastor is putting his hand on my head, and he's pushing. And I'm like, God's got to knock me over. I wasn't going to let this guy just knock me over. It had to be like the power of God. So I'm like bracing, like, So I'm resisting the push, and he just kept pushing and pushing and pushing till I just had to give in and fall. And then I remember laying on the ground and being like, so how long do I got to lay here?
Like me in my confession.
I need some ideas to say that what sins did I do? So yeah, that's a couple that came to mind.
So, but all of them
lots of things, I'm sure, in Christianity that we did that.
But that kind of speaks to the guilt of church.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you felt guilty. And then automatically I remember in the prayer, I'm not that great of a Christian if I can't freely just talk to God in front of people. Yeah. Why am I ashamed to do this in front of the pastor's wife?
Well, and I'm sure I didn't help either, because I was thinking he's not a very good spirit. I knew you weren't like the type of spiritual leader that they expected.
Excuse me?
You were trying to be, but I guess you were, but you weren't what they would have expected. You know what I'm saying? I knew that there was a standard that my dad had. There was a standard that the preachers had. That you were supposed to be like leading Bible studies and talking about God 24/7.
Anybody that knew me would be like, this guy, he's dancing on the line on a lot of things here.
You're like, this is right? Oh, no, we're not supposed to be doing that.
Remember that one group we went to that was really buttoned up?
I think we talked about it before. I know you're talking about.
And I'm in there just being me and make my little comments here and there. Yeah, that was like a turd in a punch bowl.
Oh, gosh. That one was not good for us.
But the host guy, he was having a blast. He was laughing all night long. Everyone else was like, this is uncouth.
It was so bad. Yeah, I really didn't like that one.
Time for God. It's like, all right. Tough crowd. All right, let's play a little game before we go on. It's similar to last week, one of the games we played last week. Guilt trip or guided light?
Guilt trip. Okay, so explain.
So, this is a question, and you have to guess if it is a guilt trip.
Just so you know, I can see your phone reflecting in your glasses.
Thank you.
So don't have any personal names or anything.
So is it a spiritual conviction, a guided light, or a manipulative guilt tactic, a guilt trip?
Okay.
So the first one, if you don't go on your youth mission trip, you're saying no to God.
Oh, that's definitely a guilt trip that's used.
Oh, yes, definitely. It kind of paints that image that God's kind of holding a clipboard, sitting outside the bus of, oh, Candy's not here. So I guess she doesn't like me anymore. And so, yeah. Guilt trip. God told me you're supposed to stay in this marriage. Divorce isn't biblical.
I mean, that's a guilt trip too, but it could also be, what was the other thing? I've heard that phrase to people.
Guiding light.
Oh, it's somebody trying to be a guiding light.
That'd be a spiritual conviction.
So it's a guilt trip?
It's a guilt trip, yeah.
That would be, people came up to people and did that stuff all the time. That would not be surprising to see. Yeah. I probably know people who have done that to other people or had it done to them.
Oh, yeah. We had someone we knew was counseling another woman, and this woman came up and said, basically, we didn't know what type of abuse, if it was verbal or physical or whatever. And this woman told this Christian woman, my husband's abusing me. And the Christian woman counseled her back and saying, well, basically, divorce isn't an option.
Submit.
You just need to submit.
You're not submitting enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So keep taking it.
I was just like, what?
Sick and wrong. I felt convicted after lying to my boss and decided to come clean, even though it cost me.
That's a guiding light.
Yes. It's internal accountability because
And trying to like not hurt others and,
Yeah. And
be honest, to be authentic.
Yeah.
That's
be
really
honest.
what it is. You're not hiding who you are.
Leads to growth, not shame. When you miss church, you're robbing God of the worship he deserves.
Oh my God. It's a guilt trip. These are just things easily that were said or could be said.
Yeah. I mean, how many times did you miss church? You're not getting spiritually fed. You're going to starve. Your soul is starving because he's not getting this nutrition from the pastor.
I'm getting more sleep and joy in life.
We look at you, Dan, and we see you're not passing out on the plates at dinner time. But spiritually, you are famished. You need to come back.
Instead of look at your checkbook, they're like, I can look at your waistline and tell where you.
Your budget goes to food, doesn't it? McDonald's.
That looks like a McDonald's waistline.
Looks like someone has an ice cream addiction. All right, next one. I felt like I couldn't be honest about struggling because people said doubt was a sin.
That's that's a guiding light.
Is it?
Well, I mean, the person saying, what they're saying is, I felt like, yes, but doubt, someone saying to you that doubt is a sin is not. You see what I'm saying?
That's the part that makes it a guilt trip, yeah.
Yes. But it's somebody becoming aware of that's being used against them. That is a guiding light.
Yeah, that's weaponizing the doubt.
Yes. But that was used all the time. Like we were, pretty sure my dad said that to me. We had that. There was a strong message that you do not doubt whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
You have questions, you just...
Doubt is the devil whispering in your ear. It's kind of the imagery I remember hearing all the time. The only reason you have them doubts is because you're not focusing on God all the time. Yeah. The devil's getting a chance to get in your ear.
Where'd you hear that? Someone told you that? You're listening to something that's giving you that idea.
Yeah, you got ungodly
counsel. Yeah, I probably am listening to somebody who's got critical thinking skills, but I don't have any, so I can't know.
I can't tell you for sure because I don't have any. Please tell me what I'm listening to, Pastor. I don't know. I need you to interpret this.
That is how it's done. You know that.
I know.
Tell me what to think here, Pastor. Tell me who to vote for. Tell me what school is okay. Oh, my God.
All right. Tithing isn't optional. If you don't give 10%, God can't bless you.
Oh, my God. It's a guilt trip, but that's another one that was said. ChatGPT hitting all of them.
He's getting them. But yeah, I remember... I almost said 50 Shades of Grey, but it was the purpose-driven life.
Sorry, Rick Warren. Deconstruction's version of purpose-driven life is 50 Shades of Grey. Oh, wow.
But he was in there, and I remember, because when we did that series at that church, we did it as a church. Mm-hmm. So everyone had to buy the book. And how many people are over there? Like 800? And it was $20.
Oh, yeah.
So 800 people buying $20 books for Rick Warren.
Sheesh. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. And since the whole church bought it, I don't know if they had to buy it also too or not, but he had a video presentation that he did with it. And
we bought extras to give to family and friends.
Yeah. So... yeah, that was encouraged. So we were just supporting Rick Warren, which made him say this easier in the video presentation because I went to it. Because one member.
Oh, yeah. That.
And did you go to that one too?
I don't know. I don't think so.
But it was basically a Friday night that we had to go to a sermon by Rick Warren. And he was talking about tithing. And he's like, 10% is a suggestion. It's the minimum.
Yeah, that they would.
The goal is to get to 100%.
That was the training wheels.
Yeah, he goes. Personally, we're at like 85, 90%.
Yeah, when you're bringing in millions.
When you're selling to one church 800 of your $20 books, you don't have an issue with.
No, that's easy to do, right, buddy, and still live comfortably.
Yeah.
If we give you 90%, we're going to be living out of a trash can with 5 kids.
We'd be lucky to live out of a trash can. So. Yeah, tithing was always a good one. I ghosted someone I was dating because I felt like I was leading them on. I didn't feel right until I apologized.
That's a growth mindset or a whatever. Guiding light. Shining light.
Yes, this is actually how my dating life went.
You just ghosted people? Wow.
Grade school and high school, I was a bad guy.
What kind of...
I just like, I don't want to break up with them and hurt them.
Yeah, because you can't stand confrontation, dude.
So I just won't answer the phone.
That's the worst. So you just didn't answer the phone for these poor girls?
Yeah. I didn't have many dates in high school, but yeah, I was not a good person. Just be happy you met me when you did.
You're lagging. I met you when you were just out of high school. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was better by then.
I don't think so.
I was much better.
Please.
So I was told that I didn't forgive. I was told that if I didn't forgive my abuser, God wouldn't forgive me. This quote from a pastor.
It's not a quote from a pastor. A pastor gave it to one of his victims to say.
No, that's what
I was told by my pastor. Yeah, that's the pastor. That is definitely a guilt trip.
Oh, yeah. And spiritual abuse. Because, I mean,
Yeah, it's definitely spiritual abuse.
Yeah, because you got to forgive and forget. That's the big thing.
Emotional abuse. Yeah.
And by golly, don't talk to anyone in authority about it, especially if it was a legal matter.
No, don't talk to anybody who has like worldly authority.
We'll take care of this internally.
We'll keep it in church. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to shame your pastor.
Yeah. God gave me a dream that if you don't join the worship team, your talents will be wasted. Never said to me.
No. But that would have been said
ahead,
too.
Stay in the back.
Go ahead and just go clean the toilets, okay?
Just lip sync.
You'd be good as a cleaner.
You're fine. Just lip sync. You're fine.
Yeah, definitely guilt trip.
Yeah, using dreams and all that.
Don't you love how people would do that? God told me something. It's usually, I mean, I had it said to me where it was like, quote unquote, good things. Like God said that you're going to be, I had some prophecies said over me.
Oh, yeah, you're a prayer warrior or something.
Yeah, I have a prayer warrior. I did have one that one said that I was like a, kind of like it was based on the way I was standing. I was standing with my feet kind of like hip width apart. Like and I had my hands kind of like this in front of my, like a soldier, almost like in the front of my, private area, for lack of a better word. And I was just standing there and they were praying over me. And he was saying something like, she's going to be a soldier for Christ or whatever. Makes me laugh thinking where I'm at right now. He would have never they would never. Well, or maybe I was doing something right and it just wasn't what they thought was good. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I also had a prophecy that I was going to save my friend's life, and I don't know. Maybe that happened.
It was your whole family.
Yeah.
All right. So last one. I kept saying yes to volunteering because I felt bad saying no, not because I actually wanted to. That one kind of fits in, doesn't it? With our people pleasing nature. How many things did we get roped into?
Oh my God.
And
we were teaching Sunday school. We had no interest in teaching Sunday school.
It wasn't about interest.
We liked hanging out with the kids. I didn't mind that part. I just didn't want to play with them. I didn't want to like plan stuff. We'd plan like the morning of read through real quick. What are we supposed to do? We have to have a cup of milk. We have to have some crayons.
Yeah, it was you like read through the lesson really quick, see what we need.
But when we were doing that, when we were teaching Sunday school, we didn't have to go to regular church. That was better. I liked that. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was fun. And sometimes we got to go outside.
Then we're like, these guys got it made. They don't have to go to church at all because they're in here doing that shit.
I mean, remember that one couple that taught Sunday school for like one of our kids several years in a row, and then they became missionaries to Hawaii.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Very adorable family. I'm like, Hawaii? I want to be a missionary to Hawaii. Why are we not going off to Hawaii? And you knew they had money.
Oh, yeah. They weren't doing it.
Yeah.
they were doing all right. So, all right, let's get back into it. After that little fun break, and let's talk about the difference between guilt and conviction and shame. Because I think there are key differences, and we kind of hit that a little bit. And this is kind of where we are now, is understanding this difference. We couldn't see it when we were in the church because, like we said earlier, we were completely in that mindset of, we're bad. We're not good. Our souls
and we can't
are
even
dirty.
do good of ourselves.
Yeah, we can try and try.
Anything that we do is like a filthy rag to God.
It's never going to mount up.
Yeah.
And then the shame would just be the shame put on there. And then the messaging, like we did in that game, just how many times did we refer to the manipulation and the shame tactics that would get attached to that? Mm-hmm. You know, we need volunteers, and you two are capable and willing to do it. You're a young couple that can, work on the grass and all this stuff outside. So, and there's other people, they might have the time, but they just are feeble and old and can't do it. And you'd feel that shame of, okay, if I don't do it, then old Betty and Frank over here are going to have to do it. And they're retired and in their 70s. How are they going to sit out there and push mow the 53 acres of land that's out here for the church? So you had that shame put on you, and it was used so often because they planted that seed in you.
Yeah,
early.
and here we were a young family with 5 kids. I was homeschooling them. You were working 2 jobs. Mm-hmm. We were tired. We didn't really get days off ever.
No.
And then they take up the day we could actually connect as a family, which was Sunday. Mm-hmm. Like I'm a little bit angry about that. Like, we lost those opportunities with our kids where we had to go to, we got home from church. First of all, we're separated from them at church for a while. And then we finally said, fuck that. We're going to bring them into the church service with us.
We didn't say fuck that.
We didn't say that. But this was towards the end. Like, I wasn't really trusting what was happening in Sunday school. There was something that was like, I didn't like what was going on. So
nothing illegal.
No, nothing illegal.
Didn't ever think that.
But it was something that they were like teaching the kids. And I was like, we were starting to deconstruct. It was early, but I was just like, okay, well, I want to be with my kids. So we'd keep them with us. But that was super boring for them, first of all. And I made them little books. I made all sorts of entertaining things. And then I would have to be like, guys, be quiet. Because they'd be rustling or giggling at each other's pictures that they draw. And they were so cute. And, and I couldn't really even enjoy my children on that day because then when you get home, you're exhausted. We make corn dogs. They still joke about that, like corn dogs every Sunday. I was like, it was easy.
Grab 3 corn dogs and microwave them. Mom and Dad are going to take a nap.
Well, we couldn't even just go take a nap. We had to make sure they were laying down at that time. Maybe some of them were getting older where we could, but like we had little ones, like Bo was little. And it's like, then you take a nap and you get up and you have to make something for a meal to take with you to the night. Ours were called like little flocks or something. Yeah. And it was a long drive to that person's house. So it was just like, and then that lasted for like 3 hours.
Yeah, we get home, it'd be 8, 9 o'clock. So it was in hurry up, get in bed.
Yeah, it was just horrible. Yeah. I just really.
And it wasn't even just that Sunday, because Sunday was gone. That was completely dedicated. But there was also your free time at home.
Yeah.
So, you guys don't do anything on Thursday nights? Well, that's perfect. We can use you on Thursday nights working on this. Mm-hmm. And you had to go in on Saturday mornings and clean. And, and just all these little extra things.
There was still even, there was times I helped with Awana.
Yeah.
On Wednesdays.
Yeah, just robbing us of time.
Yeah.
Anything we had free that
anytime
we could
you could actually bond with your family, it was just like so few and far. They wanted you. I mean, how did we not notice that was a cult? Yeah. Be here, and they would say things like, "If the church doors are open, you should be here."
Yeah,
and that's just.
Yeah, and then I mean, think about the narcissistic behavior that is that if you're bonding, we want to see that bonding and make sure it's correct and proper.
Yeah,
we don't want you bonding against us.
And we don't want you picking up any fault. We don't have time to get any other ideas.
We want to control that bonding that you have. And that was and it was used with shame and manipulation and guilt. that came through it.
Yeah.
Because if you missed anything like that, or if you didn't volunteer, if you didn't do this,
Oh yeah, you were.
you
were not looked. Yeah.
I mean, even in ways that you acted and dressed, you were told you couldn't wear your seatbelt the proper way because it would pop your boobs out too much.
I was told not to wear the seatbelt because it might go in between your breasts, and so I guess they just want women to die and just wear the lap thing. Go without your seatbelt. That's even better, as long as that man's not less than. And like, isn't that my husband sitting next to me? Like, I even had one lady say, like, she didn't wear, like, she always made sure, like, she had a bra on, even if under a sweatshirt or something. Like, sometimes I'm in my pajamas, and I won't, but, like, you can't see anything. And she was like, because I don't want my sons to be, and I'm like, what are you saying to me right now?
What's going on in your house?
All of our kids were younger at the time, but I was just like.
Yeah. And it's just these weird thoughts that they keep putting out because they think if your 12-year-old boy sees mama's boob, oh no.
Or it wouldn't even be her boob. Like, it would be this. Notice she has nipples. Why?
Yeah.
First of all, most young boys are not trying to look at their mom's boobs. You know, they're not. They'd probably be grossed out.
Yeah.
So let's be honest. It's their mom. Yeah. I was like, what do you think? What are you telling your kids that they're like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's just an odd thing to say.
It is. It's weird.
But yeah, it was all guilt and manipulation to do it. Put that to now and how we live life now.
Okay.
We still have times where we feel that guilt in that. But what is the difference in that right now? I
guess there's still some unprogramming or not some reprogramming going on,
and
right?
We try to call each other out on that when you get, because there's plenty of times you're like, why do I feel guilty about this? This is actually a real emotion I have in this situation. Why do I feel guilty about this emotion that I think,
for me,
and it's like, well, that's old programming that's in you. That's
I think the biggest area that I'm noticing right now, doesn't mean it is the biggest one, but you know how healing comes in phases. I think one of the biggest things I notice now is I feel guilt when I feel angry. And I'm trying to allow myself to feel angry and be okay with being angry, and like, because I won't stay there. But just allowing myself to be angry at some of the things that happened, and also being angry that I didn't get some of the things I deserved. And I don't mean like stuff. I mean like love from my parents. I should have gotten that. I should know that my parents love me unconditionally.
Well, and some of it is that women are supposed to have certain emotions.
Anger is not one of them.
And anger is not one of them. So
but
when
women
you feel
are emotional,
anger,
is what they say. Yeah.
When you feel anger or whatever about something, it's like, oh no, and it's that old programming that you're still working through. And I think that's kind of a key thing to take away from this episode today is that we all have to realize we still have a lot of old programming stuck in these things that is going to surface up at different times.
Well, it's not even so much stuck up there. It's in your body.
Yeah.
Your body will react. I mean, and then your body will have a reaction and your mind has a trigger to that reaction and it will create that thought that, I'm bad or whatever. Yes. So there's just so much there. And that's where hypnotherapy comes in. That's where affirmations come in, therapy, shadow work, all of those things that there's no medicine, there's no physical medicine that you can pop. You have to do the work. It's the work. You have to do the work. So those are all part of, like, first you got to be aware that they're there. Then you've got to be able to sit with them. And, and that for me is anger.
And sometimes what's helped us is we've had each other. And I'm not saying if you're single out there, you can have friends that are close to you that can help you kind of notice this too.
Yeah.
Because how many times have you said to me or I said to you, that sounds like old programming you're dealing with here.
Yeah.
That's something we would have been convicted of or guilty of in the church that you're trying to work through here. It's all right to feel this.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like trying to teach you have permission to feel angry.
Yeah.
Or to feel unloved or this.
Or to feel or to speak your mind. You have a for you, like with conflict, like we're still working with that. Like it's okay for you to say something that's upsetting to somebody and be able to sit with it. Because it's really, how is other people supposed to grow or know you if you're not honest?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's that's the reason these are important, is because people won't know who you are and you don't even know who you are when you're pretending all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really have if I'm really angry about something, but I put on a smile and act like first of all, it's going to turn into resentment inside me. I will get bitter. And you wonder why people get old and they're bitter. It's because they have not been authentic. You will turn into a bitter old person if you don't do the work, period.
Yeah.
But if you do the work, you'll be a pleasant, enjoyable old person. But there's just so many boomers out there that have done no work whatsoever, and they are
the ones that thought therapy was wrong and
they
satanic
just,
and all. I mean, we know so many people that are bitter old people in miserable marriages. Just because,
and they think I would never go to therapy. The things that could help them, they're like, that's terrible, that's stupid, that's for wimps. They would probably say use other words, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, we know a lot, and I'm sure anyone listening to this knows a lot of people that are just bitter and they don't like their life. They don't like what's happening. It's everything's a problem. And it's because they don't want to do the work.
They don't want to change anything. They don't want to, and they don't think that and the thing is, you have to really recognize how you are contributing to the problem. Yeah. You have to go inward. It is not pointing, they're the problem, they're the problem, they're the problem. And even in a situation where you are in abuse, people would be like, well, I'm not the problem there. No, but you are the solution. So you have to go inward there and go, how do I get myself out of this? Not how does somebody come rescue me? You might need somebody to help you. So you go to get that help, or you do something, whatever you can. Maybe you're, a lot of people don't like that message because it's not meant to make you feel guilty about where you are. It's meant to empower you that you can get yourself out, at least move something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do the inner work. No matter what, it's up to you to do that. And so many people don't want to do that. It's just because it's uncomfortable. It's super uncomfortable to do it. You have to see the things that you did, how you contributed to the problem. You have to, but once you get rid of the judgment, that's why that's super important to let go of judgment. That kind of judgment of good, bad, that was good, bad, that was good, evil, instead, and just go, why? Why did I do this? And then you might say, because of you. And then you go, well, why does what they do, why do I have to do I have to react that way? Or could I have a different reaction? Do I have to feel this way? Or am I causing it in some way? Just trying to take back your own power, because we've just given it all away. And because we're putting on masks and we're pretending and we're giving we don't even know who we are anymore. So I guarantee you, I know older people, I guarantee you do too, that have lost who they are. They're not who they thought at all. They would never have dreamt being the person they are today. Yeah. Like, they would hate the person they are almost. Yeah. Be like, I will never grow up and be that way.
Everyone we know that's in medical.
I mean, probably.
I mean, there's so many people I know that are part of that I just want to sit down and just explain to them, this person that you've become is the person you used to make fun of and want to kick their ass. Yeah. For doing what you're doing right now. But you don't see it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they grow up. You see, the younger generation always brings in newness and like they're fighting for change, right? And they eventually become the old grumpies that don't like the young generation anymore. It just happens over and over and over again.
Yeah. So I think, the biggest thing is now is that we realize it's not guilt, it's conviction that we're dealing with. And that's all right, because it's showing that you are.
Or no, it's not. It's guilt that we're dealing. Guilt is okay. Guilt has a purpose. Conviction is
shame versus conviction. So shame was in the church. Shame was what they used to manipulate.
And I think
conviction is when you just feel that.
So that's conviction and guilt are the same. You're using those interchangeably.
Yeah.
So shame is what. I guess it does have a place, but I don't know.
But from where we're coming from, it's got a negative connotation.
Yes,
because shame was used to manipulate and control us.
Yeah,
and
that is what it's used for in regular society too. Yeah. It keeps people in line,
and it's keeping people on. You're a bad person. When you start to come out of that and realize that you're a good person, individual, conviction's still going to happen, because you're going to realize that's not the person I want to be. That's not the actions I want to do. And I'm going to be convicted when I do these things in the world. So,
because I don't want to hurt people.
I want
to
change that.
Myself.
And conviction is pointing this out so that it gives you an opportunity to learn and grow from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of the key.
Yes, guilt or conviction, those are necessary. I don't like conviction because it is attached to Christianity a little bit. So I would use the word guilt. I think guilt has a place. Guilt makes you recognize, hey, I hurt somebody and I feel bad. It creates that empathy. You have to feel the guilt, feel comfortable with it, because without judgment, without the shame, you can deal with it. You can actually process it. But when you start to tell yourself that you are bad, that things go awry, because then you're going to react to that in a bad way. And you're going to continue the cycle. It's when you take away the judgment that you can actually be curious and use guilt as a tool to grow.
Yes. So that's our takeaway for today. It's all right to feel guilt as long as you're using it to grow from.
Yes. And when you
and not bring yourself down.
No, don't go into shame, because it's a spiral.
Yeah.
But you can't help it if shame pops up, because it is a program. So this would be my recommendation. This is what I would say to a client that's dealing with
Official therapist recommendation.
Okay, hypnotherapist, which is different than a therapist.
Ba-ding.
But there's some overlap. Okay, so when you feel the shame, because it's going to come, you're going to feel that I am bad, or I am not enough, or why do I always do this, where you start beating yourself up. That's where you get curious. Why am I saying those things? Whose voice is that's saying that to me? Would I say that to my child? Would I say that to my partner? Would I say that to my friend? Begin to talk to yourself like you're not yourself. Like, separate and kind of talk to you how you would talk to somebody else. And I guarantee you will say some different things than you are normally saying to yourself.
Yeah.
We've got to reprogram that negative talk, because a lot of us have negative self-talk because we were programmed with it. And that creates that shame spiral. And the shame spiral can't produce anything but more shame. It's I feel bad. Now I got to try to get out of this feeling because it's so uncomfortable. The shame feels so uncomfortable. So you've got to prove that you're good enough. And when you go out to prove that you're good enough, you'll be reminded that you're not, which leads to shame, and it starts all over again. And you're just in this endless loop until you break it by recognizing, wait a second, the shame's got to go. Like, you start to recognize, I'm not bad, but I do have some bad programming, and I can fix it.
And grow from it.
Yeah, and grow from it. So then then shame becomes a good trigger to get out. It can trigger you to remember, like, oh, now it's time to be curious.
Yeah.
Instead of allowing it to trigger you to spiral.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, just remember, it's not who you are. It's just something you did.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's close off. We'll play a little game.
Okay.
At the end of the day. Worship lyric or love bomb?
Didn't we do this last week?
We did. This is a little twist on it this week. Is this a worship lyric or a love bomb text from a scorned lover?
Okay.
I can't live without you. I don't even know who I am without you.
I mean, I'm going to say that's
People play along at home here too. Pause the episode and answer.
I'm going to say that's love bomb.
It is a love bomb. It's a real text sent after 3 dates. If God talks like this, it's time to block the number.
Oh my God. Or if you talk like that to God, I don't know who I am.
All right.
Which.
Your love is overwhelming, never ending, reckless.
That's a song.
It is. Reckless Love by Corey Asbury.
Never ending? Did you just say that?
Never ending.
Unless you're gay or Democrat or.
And it's reckless. If you're gay, Democrat. You pursue me even when I run away. You'll never stop chasing me.
That's a song.
Yep. The Father's House. Psalm 23. Insert restraining order joke here. You make me feel whole. No one else has ever understood me like this.
Love bomb.
Yep. Wrap me in your arms. I just want to be close to you forever.
Song.
It is Wrap Me in Your Arms by Michael Gungor.
Oh, I used to listen to Michael Gungor.
You love Gungor.
I did. I'm sorry. I'm
Didn't
trying to
he
think.
deconstruct?
Maybe I'll look it up.
I thought he was on Bad Christians.
Yeah, I think he might have been.
I'd do anything for you. Just say the word.
Love Bomb.
Very good. You're hitting them here. You take my breath away the moment I saw you.
Love Bomb.
Very good. I surrender everything. Take it all. It's yours.
That's definitely a song.
I Surrender by Hillsong. You are all I ever wanted and all I ever needed.
That's a song.
Breathe by Michael W. Smith.
Oh, I liked Michael W. Smith too.
One more. I've been waiting for someone like you my whole life. You were chosen just for me.
That's a love bomb.
Yeah.
Gross.
Could be a love bomb from your youth pastor.
Oh, God, I bet you it's been used. Ew!
As he's sitting there with his frosted tips and thumb ring. I've been waiting for you forever.
Talking to like a 13-year-old.
My 30 years here and you're 12 years here. So we finally connected.
Oh, my God. That's so gross.
Anywho. All right, folks. That's all we got for you. So, second week of the new format. Write in. Let us know what you think.
By the way, I don't know if this is true,
Gungor.
but it says something like the popular Christian alternative rock musician is a full-blown atheist now. And his wife has followed him into his apostasy.
Yeah.
We should look into them and kind of
I thought I heard
explore
that. And I thought he was on Bad Christians. So, but let us know what you think of the new format. I think we're kind of digging it. It's really flying by. These episodes go real quick now. All of a sudden, trying to squeeze all this shit in. But we wanted to break it up a little bit so it just wasn't. We were just getting tired of hearing ourselves talk. It's old, especially when I have to hear it to edit.
Oh, yeah,
and
you
then I
have to
hear it
hear
when
it
it comes
over.
out.
Oh, man. I don't mind it because it's just like we had a conversation and I move along and I don't listen to it.
Yeah, I'm listening to it a few times afterwards, and you're like, I'll write some copy, and you're done with this.
And I whine about having to write copy.
You're always making me do more. I didn't sign up for all this extra work.
Okay, now I feel guilt.
See, that's guilt and shame. I learned that in the church.
You are guilt tripping me.
I am.
But you know what? I probably should do. I got a whole lot of other things I'm doing. It's like, it's just a little too much. I don't think I can take it on.
Here is a practical example for all you people. She's working through it, accepting this as, no, I'm not a bad person. I have other things I need to do.
I did a bad thing, but I'm not going to change that bad thing. And it's not always. Sometimes you have to figure out if that guilt is like, if that's really your guilt to carry.
There's a reason that one song was playing in your car every time you turned it on.
I'm a bad guy. Every time, guys, for almost a year straight, every time I got into my car, I would start the car and that song would start playing and I could not figure out why. And then it just stopped one time because I became a good guy.
No. So let us know what you think of the new format. Just shoot us a note. We love hearing it. And we'll call you out after we read it. So, but go to our website, danacan.com. Check it out. It's got everything related to the podcast, our merchandise store, and all that good stuff. Go to that website too and get all the stuff related to Candy and the candy jar. Everything she has there that offers and all that. So it's a one-stop shop for everything we do and a way to communicate with us too. So if you want to email us, we can get that from you there too. If you have any suggestions or ideas, send them in to us. Let us know. Leave a comment on here or email us from the website, whatever works. We love hearing from you folks. Remember to give us 5 stars because we really depended on it, folks. We're not making it if you don't give us 5 stars. And we'd be forced to be shut down. The government's going to come and shut us down if we don't have 5 stars.
What the hell are
and
you
the
telling
Christian
people?
nationalists are going to come and hunt us down and steal our computers and microphones. 5 stars helps.
I don't think that's going to help us. I think we're pretty much toast at that point.
5 stars helps feed a starving
You get
podcaster.
5 stars. 5 stars might help get our son and daughter that'll still live with us a thing of ramen.
5
Because they're going to be
stars,
living on their own for a while.
just 5 stars a day helps feed a starving podcaster like me. There's a reason I'm from the neck up.
Yeah, that's why.
I'm a starving podcaster. So we'd appreciate that there too, and leave a comment. That'd be awesome. And if you're on YouTube, hit that like, smash that subscribe. We'd appreciate it greatly. And I guess I can conclude these now, and you conclude the candid conversation. So listen to us. Otherwise, people will be harmed. They'll be sad. They won't
Damn,
hear
stop
anything.
guilt tripping people.
I'm just trying to help the people have a practical example to work through, an easy one,
Don't listen to him.
because I don't know shit.
True. Bye.
Bye.
Money.